Everything Everywhere All at Once. How many of y'all heard about that amazing 10 out of 10 movie that dropped in 2022? Amazing, amazing movie. It's an absolute masterpiece. Um, Today I want to talk about that with y'all because it's so exciting. It's just a crazy, crazy ride of a movie. And today I'm joined by, of course, my co-host.
House of L.
And today we got something very special for y'all. We got a very, very awesome guest with us as well. Her name is Summer, and she happens to be my very lovely, beautiful girlfriend.
So don't be a
Introduce
bummer.
yourself. Okay.
Hello. Yeah, I'm Summer, and thank you for having me here.
Absolutely. Anytime. Uh, a pleasure having you on the podcast. And yeah, let's get right into it. I myself have seen the movie twice. Ivan has seen it, or sorry, House of L, I should say, has seen it twice. And Summer has seen the movie once. What is y'all opinion on the movie, first and foremost?
Well, first off, the entirety of the movie was such a journey, I'd say, that is
Absolutely.
To say
a
the
wild
least.
ride.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was definitely pure chaos. It's like my mind at all times on like hyperspeed.
Yeah.
Very there's just so much information and everything to take in while you're watching it that I literally couldn't keep up with it mentally.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot to unpack in that movie. It's definitely, in my opinion, the greatest, one of the greatest, if not the absolute greatest representation of a multiverse movie that I've ever seen it in my 26 years on this planet. And there hasn't been many attempts, of course, but of all the ones that have, been made, this is, in my opinion, the best because it showcases just how crazy the possibilities are of within the multiverse. But it just for me it was obviously, yeah, it was a lot to unpack, but it was just so cool to see the different possibilities within each multiverse. I'm assuming most of y'all that are listening have seen it or at least know of the movie, and just seeing Michelle Yeoh on screen again is just, it was just beautiful. It was absolutely amazing. Some of y'all might have known her from a little known work of art called Hidden Dragon, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Absolute masterpiece of a movie. The second one, the sequel, is also pretty good, but the first one's where it's at for sure. And she is the main lead, or one of the main leads in that movie. Classic, classic Chinese martial arts film. Just amazing to see her on screen again since that, and some of her other stuff as well.
Can we just
So
talk
and also,
about Kiwi Kwan's comeback into
yeah,
cinema?
absolutely, man. Oh, dude,
Like originally, that role was for Jackie Chan, but
literally.
Jackie Chan was getting too old, and there was some messages that were portrayed by the movie that didn't really fit with his image.
Mm,
I'd say,
really, I didn't know that.
yeah. But
Wow, that's crazy.
I'm actually glad they casted Key in this
Mm,
movie, and what a
yeah, man.
way
He
come back into the industry.
So he took a break then, is what you're saying, for like a long while.
Because his last big movie was Indiana Jones.
Oh, word, he was in that.
He was a kid.
Oh, dude, I'm not gonna hold you. I have not seen Indiana Jones. Summer, have you seen that? I don't think I have. So,
Oh, rip. Guess you got
literally,
some homework to do, bro.
hey, listen. I think Indiana Jones is a cool series. It's a franchise by now, right?
Yep.
Um, so definitely, I think it's something that I should probably watch at some point. They just casted a new one, or created a new one with with Buddy, right? With
It's in a production, but I believe so.
no, there's literally a trailer that dropped recently. Like it was at the beginning of another movie, which I'll mention maybe later on into the podcast. Uh, and of course, it's got Harrison Ford in it, and it looks great. But I just haven't seen any of them, so um, so yeah, the movie looks pretty dope. But I just I haven't seen it myself. Summer, have you seen it? Any of the Indiana Jones?
I have not. Honestly, I don't think I've seen a single one. And that's definitely
Damn.
something that I'm missing out on.
Yeah, so I've
I
heard as well.
mean, yeah, he's also known for being in the Goonies. If you guys seen that,
Of course, bro.
I
Of
have not seen that
course.
in forever.
Who? He's not. Who is he again? Is he? Let me see. Are we talking Harrison Ford or Key?
Key.
I was gonna say because I don't think Harrison was in that. You must be talking about Key.
Yeah,
Oh shoot! Dang. So he was that little kid.
yeah.
Wow,
So his like
dude.
big movies were the Goonies and then Indiana Jones mostly.
Wow, that's crazy. I would have never guessed that was him at all. Like unless I googled it. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
Um. Wow. Yeah, I think to be honest, I don't think I've seen him in anything. Like the first thing I've seen him in is Everything Everywhere All at Once. And of course he smashed it, like blew it out of the water. So like now I'm gonna be following him as an actor. Um, but
And
now
he's
especially
so
finding out he's been in the
sweet.
Goonies. Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, he was dang. Just that plot line that they went with for bringing Michelle's character back. I actually forget what her name is in the movie. Um, what is her name in the movie again? Evelyn.
Evelyn?
Evelyn. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Uh, I love how they went with that plot line of getting Evelyn to come back to reality. Because Evelyn at that point is literally basically a god and can do anything she wants, and she basically was able to get tethered down to a universe again because of Key's character, saying that hey, like love is super important and just being a kind and nice person is like the most important part.
But the
Um,
big takeaway from that is that there's a difference between being nice and being
yeah.
kind, right?
Yeah,
The whole
exactly.
message
Nice
of
can be fake.
the whole tone is to be kind rather
Hmm.
than just being nice.
Yeah, because you can
Yeah,
you can
that's
put
very
on
true.
a face and be nice, right? Like it does. Sometimes it doesn't come from a genuine place. So that's definitely a fair point.
And you can
Um,
tell it comes from the heart with him too.
yeah, it was so
Yeah.
heartfelt and deep. Um, the one thing that I did want to say, uh, and this actually for some reason shocks me. I don't know why it does, because I guess there wasn't a whole lot of it in the movie. Now that I'm thinking about it, but it's still for what it was is super low. The budget. I'm just looking at the budget here
Yeah.
for the movie, bro. The budget was 14 to 25 million. Bro,
Take
that's
in
peanuts,
the entire
bruh.
movie took place in like three locations: the
Okay,
laundromat,
what?
the building, and then friggin' where everything bagel is.
Oh my gosh,
There's
bro. I
like
would have
three or
never
four
guessed that either.
locations only, and then they
How's
just encapsulated the movie in those four scenes or locations.
but
Wow.
but hold on, wait a minute. Okay, so let's backtrack.
That's why
Okay,
the
so
budget is so low.
well, cause like I'm looking at the budget and I'm like, okay, what? Like something's not adding up here. So if we look at the locations, you said which are the locations you said that
Well, the
were
laundromat, right?
the laundromat makes sense,
That
right?
includes the house, the upstairs portion of the house,
Right. Okay, so one location. Then
and
like the
then we
place
have
where they did the taxes,
the IRS building,
IRS building. Yeah. Okay. And then
And then
So,
the location
wh-
where Jobu Tobaki is.
oh, the bagel. Right, 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 right. Okay. So,
Like those are the
but here's my
main
thing now.
locations.
Here's my thing though, because there's other scenes in it. Like for example, when it cuts to her life as like an action superstar if she didn't marry Buddy, right? They were like
Mhm.
outside in the alleyway and all that, right? Surely that's another location. They didn't just green screen that.
I mean, it's another location, but I'm talking about just the main like
Oh, okay, okay, okay,
shots
okay.
were
Because
primarily
like
in
even
those
when like
locations.
she's like fighting, right? She's like fighting her daughter, right? They
Because
like
all the
jump
fighting scenes
between
take place in the
bare
IRS
things.
building.
Yeah. Wow. That's actually true. Yeah. Well, freaking
It seemed like it
even
was
the classic.
everywhere.
Exactly, and that's the beauty of it is they really made it seem like it. Um, the rock scene. Surely they went to a cliff to see to do that one. I love that rock scene, by the way. That's I loved it. It was just so calm and peaceful. Just two boulders, just two rocks, chilling
Can I
on the
just
top of
say,
a
as simple
mountain.
as that scene is, it's super fucking deep for what it is.
Literally spoke
Yeah, and
volumes. Like, and that's the irony is, and they must have thought about that on purpose and did it that way on purpose because a rock is so simple and inanimate. So using that scene to portray all the deep concepts that they did versus everything else is just like it's just brilliant,
having like
you
such a
know?
big message attached to something so simple.
Exactly, and so minimalist, right? I thought that
Like,
was beautiful how they did that.
I know this part is spoilers, but the part where the
Nah, it's
daughter
fine.
like leaps off the cliff and the mom jumps
Facts.
afterwards
Yeah,
speaks
yeah,
volume about the character development that Evelyn went through.
facts. So true. Because like she was so like rough on her daughter before, and her daughter didn't even want to deal with her. Like the relationship was just so marred, you know.
Well, that's
Um,
Well,
because
there
of
was very cold
James
at the
Hong's script.
very beginning.
yes, yes, yep, yeah. Their relationship was really really rocky, and I'm not gonna hold you. That kind of really pissed me off what she said to her in the beginning, like when she was just about to get in the car and leave, and she couldn't
I know.
She called
express
her
to her
fat.
like, "Are you good?" Oh my.
Like that's
Okay,
just
you
the
just
way
messed
Asian
up
parents really treat their kids. It's that
facts.
they mean well and they want to
Yeah,
get the message across, but they don't know how to put it
communication is
into
not there.
words properly.
Like, bro, I could understand if you like messed up your words a little bit and you said something like a different way. Bro, it's the complete opposite of what you were trying to accomplish. All you had to do was just apologize. No, you call her fat. What? What
Right?
do you mean? Like that's the complete opposite side of the spectrum. Oh my god.
Well,
How do you
that's
feel
probably
so
in
bad?
part because of Evelyn's dad, Gong Gong, right? Played by James Hong,
Yeah,
and the
absolutely.
like
And he
the
killed that
generational
character
trauma
badass.
that's there, right?
Yep. Yep.
Because in the
And
flashback, he
mhm,
literally threw her away. Like he
literally.
even called her that she's not even his daughter anymore, right? For moving
Mm-hmm.
to America with
Disowned her.
Wayman. Exactly.
It's yeah, you can tell that the dad and Evelyn herself they're very detached from their emotions, like any form of emotion or uh, feeling those
Mm-hmm.
deep feelings is just they detach themselves from it immediately. It's
Absolutely.
just not something that she can process, so she just does the first thing that is detached from all of that.
Mm-hmm. It's yeah, it's pretty sad, and I know a lot of people that have a very detached relationship with their parents, if anything at all, because they just don't see eye to eye, and it's just too much stress and heartache for them to continue to hold up that relationship. Um, and some people very close to me, unfortunately, I know of that have separated themselves from their parents because it's just they just don't see eye to eye and they just can't agree on anything, and it's just better for their mental state to just not deal with their parents. And it's sad. I don't wish that upon anybody, honestly. Um, and it's just the reality of life, I guess, right?
Well, it's because everyone has a limit, right? And that's what kind of birthed Jobu Tsubaki in the movie, right? Is
That's
that she
exactly
got
it. Yeah,
pushed
yeah,
over her limits, and then she basically fractured herself
yep,
and became who she did in the movie.
exactly. Which was, if I have to admit, completely OP. By the ways, that girl
Right?
needed nerfs. Oh my gosh. Oh, she was a menace to society, man. Well, I remember when I
Well,
first
she
seen her, like, oh, dude, just seeing her walk into the IRS office, and then like
oh
you see like her
right.
nails changing color and all that, and then like when she's scratching the cubicle thing or whatever on the wall there, and then she pulls up on girly on the ground on Evelyn or that version of Evelyn, and then she's just like super super creepy, bro. I know Summer you didn't like that part because like you're not about creepy stuff like that. But you have to admit that's a very interesting entrance though.
I was very confused at that part. Yeah, it was definitely intriguing, but I was so confused as to what was really going on that I was hiding my face for the first bit. Uh,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, it was once I actually understood what was happening.
hmm it was yeah. It was just super eccentric. I mean, the whole movie is obviously as a whole, but that part especially was like whoa. And then of course, like you see her later on when she meets Evelyn in the hallway with the cops, right? Um, in the scene where she just basically just absolutely murders everybody in that hallway.
Bro, when
And
she touched the cop
oh,
and he turned to confetti,
I was out of here, bro. I was out of there. I was like, "There's no way. What did she just do?" And she just kept going, bro. She danced this guy out of his existence, bro. Like,
at one
what,
point she pulled out dildos and beat the cops with it. Like,
bruh?
what?
The smile that she had on her face when she had the dildos, I was like, what the fuck?
Like she was just so proud of her creations. Yeah, man. I don't know. It was something else, man. Absolutely something else. 2 hours in like 20 minutes, I think. It was hour and 400. Yeah, 140 minutes, which is like an hour and 20 or something. Sorry, 2 hours and 20 or something like that. And I'd say definitely watching it the second time, I picked up on more things that I didn't the first time. I'm
Yeah.
drawing a blank on what exactly that is, but that's kind of how it works when you watch a movie for the second time, right? Or more than the first time. Is the first time it's like, oh, you're in awe of like everything that's going on, so you miss things, right? That's just how the brain works. And then like the second time you watch it, you're like, oh shoot, what? How did I miss that? Like that makes so much sense, or da 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 da, and you connect some dots that like you
Yeah.
didn't do previously, right? And I just found that I was connecting more dots around this time around, which is awesome, awesome, because I understood the story even more, you know.
Well, it's because you're able to see the symbolism more the second time around and pick up on the little
Mm-hmm.
like niche details.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of fucking details in this movie.
That's for sure.
That's why it's amazing to
Um.
watch movies more than once because you just,
Mhm.
yeah, it just, you collect so much more information the second time around, especially when you understand what happens in the end.
Exactly. You're like, oh wow, this like, what? How could I didn't connect that dot the first time? What the heck? And you start like blaming yourself. You're like, what the frick? How could I have missed that? It's so like obvious, but sometimes it's just not how it be. I will say that the first time around, I was definitely a little confused. At least in like the first two parts, the third part was like more of like the full circle part that brought it around to the beginning again. So it was more mellow. But the first and second part, oh my gosh, I was so confused. And actually, the one part that I was confused about, that I obviously maybe I just missed, the explanation of in the first go around. Um, what I was confused about the first time was how like the random acts connected them each person to like a different universe. I was like, why are they just doing this random crap? You know what I mean? Like, like
Well, that's
freaking
what
putting
played a
gum in their
part in
mouth or.
second part too is
peeing
that
themselves. Like,
when Raymond and the daughter
yeah,
notice it too
mm,
and
yeah,
start offering like ways to do it too. And it's like, just pick your
yeah,
nose, you'll gain martial arts. I'm like, what?
yeah. That's exactly like what exactly. And so like I didn't really notice, like I didn't get the hint about that the first time, about like why it was like that, and then of course the second time around. Well, actually, before I say that, Summer, do you understand why that was the way it was?
Well, each
Do you know
act
the
would
explanation?
bring them to, like, do you mean like when they would do random things and it would take them to a different area of like a
Yeah, a
different,
different universe.
yeah, it's well, I mean essentially at each time that they did one of the random things, it would activate one of
Hmm.
the different multiverses.
Right, which is correct. But like, do you know why? Like, do you remember what the explanation was?
No.
I didn't either, and I was like, "What the heck is going on?" Like, I figured by the closer to the end, I figured out like that they needed to do random stuff to get powers or whatever, or like different
Well,
consciousness. But I was just like,
the
"What?"
logic
But the
behind
second
it is
time, I
that
understood.
they needed
Right?
to perform an actions that's specific to that timeline or universe
Exactly.
that
Yeah.
links their universe to that Evelyn in order to
Exactly.
access her memories and abilities.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the
And
same
I
thing as
remember.
in WandaVision, or yeah, when she uses the Darkhold.
Yeah, it's like a jumping off
It's
point
like
to like
dream
help you
walking
get to
essentially,
it. Dream
except you have
walking.
to
Yeah,
include a
that's a
weird
good
action.
analogy. That's a good point, actually. I never even thought about that connection there. But yeah, like I remember Waymond explaining it, or like the Alpha Waymond explaining it in like the first, few minutes of meeting with Evelyn, and he's like, okay, yeah, like you got to do these special or these random things or whatever, and we created an algorithm that shows us which random thing we need to do to then link that consciousness to like to a different universe or whatever. And for some odd reason, I just missed that the first time around. So they were doing all this crap, freaking sticking dildos up their ass and crap. I was like, what is happening right now? I'm so confused.
Bro, the way the writers came up with like these scenes are like they
Wow.
must be crazy, yo. Like, how do you
Yeah, bro, they
think
were
of that?
awesome ish.
Like, how do
Bro,
you sit in a room and come up with these ideas and put it in a scene?
oh my gosh. Bro,
Imagine
the scene where.
actually like making the scenes though too. Even just
Oh
thinking
my
about
gosh.
like how you would have to keep a straight face during
The whole time.
the scene.
Bro, I just keep picturing over and over and over again. Uh, just the scene where they're trying to jump on top of the.
Right?
Bro, they put this thing on the freaking table and trying to jump on it, and Evelyn was moving it, and then Buddy comes out of nowhere from some back of the bush and jumps out of nowhere and lands on it. Oh my gosh, bro, I swear. And then you look over and other Buddy has something else up his ass. Oh, done. I
So
was
there's
like, where did you
literally a
get that?
universe where everyone sticks something up their ass to learn martial arts, bro.
Literally, like, are you good? Who? Oh. And that's what's so interesting about the movie is it's so utterly ridiculous, but it's not entirely off base. We don't actually know what's out there. We don't know if the multiverse does exist. But if it does, it's probably got crazy universes like this in it, right? And you would never know
Yeah,
until you actually get there and see it.
but I'm not sticking anything up my ass just to get martial arts powers. That's not happening.
Oh, really, babe? Shoot, I think you're missing out. I
No,
don't know. Me and
no,
Ivan gonna
no.
Hey,
be
yo,
martial artist masters.
Bing Bong.
Hey yo, Big Pop. Hey, that's the wrong podcast, bro. Oh man, nah. I just thought it was great, and I think the first time around, I remember House of L and I we watched it in the theaters, and it felt like a really really long movie. Like I remember I got to
It
the end
did,
of it and I was like, holy crap, okay, it's over. Oh, but like the second time around, I was like, yo, wait, it's done already? What the frick?
right?
Like I like, you know what I'm saying? Cause like I had been there, done that, but especially for this movie, I felt like it was super short the second time.
Well, it's
I'm not
because I
really sure
feel
why
like
that
we
is.
already can tell what's happened next and expect it, so it feels like it went
Yeah.
by faster.
Yeah, and I think honestly the main reason why the first time felt so long is because they were literally building an entire multiverse on screen for us, right?
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
with a bunch of plot points and a bunch of plot twists and a bunch of different character development and stuff. Like there was so much happening the first time that my brain wasn't worrying about the length of the movie as much as what the frick is going on in it. you know? And I think so that's why it felt so long the first time. But the second time I was like, oh yeah, this happens, that happens, she dies, he dies, da 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 da, whatever, whatever, cool, you know. Did it feel long for you, Summer?
Um, it honestly, it did, but it didn't at the same time. Like there was so much to process all at once that like I was getting overwhelmed with how long it felt, but
Mm,
really looking at it overall, it didn't feel like there wasn't that moment of, oh my gosh, like when I'm getting bored, when is this gonna end? Like it kept you
yeah,
busy and you
the
were
entire
so
time, yeah.
focused on like what was happening during the entire time that there wasn't that moment of it. But it was during the
Right.
intro of the first section of everything was just pure craziness and yeah, that felt really long, but I didn't
yeah.
wonder like by the
Mm,
end of it, you know?
absolutely. I actually okay, so first of all, I'm gonna touch on one thing you just said there. You said it was a lot to process all at once. I don't know if that was a pun that you intended, but I guess you did try to process everything everywhere all at once. I'm sorry, I just had to make that joke because it just I would not have
but did you
slept
really?
properly tonight. Yo, allow me. I did. All right. No, I will say though, I actually do think like literally like on paper, the everything part is the longest part if I'm not mistaken because
Oh
it
yeah.
like it was like a good almost hour just for that part. Or am I tripping, Houseville? Like I think that part was the longest, no?
Yeah.
Because it stops at oh shoot, what happens? So like the very beginning happens with the IRS thing, and then they get chased by Girly, and then what? I'm trying to remember at what point it stops. But
It stops
oh,
once
didn't it
they
stop
show
when she
all
when
of
they
the
got
different
back?
multiverses. Like once it showed all of
Yeah,
those different scenes and then it incorporates those into the everywhere part after.
yeah. I think you're correct about that. I think I remember the um it getting to the second part right when Evelyn's back at her desk in her like office upstairs, like doing papers again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think that's when, because then it shows like, hey, like everywhere, I guess, or whatever, or everything. I don't remember how they do it, but it showed it on the screen, like part one or part two, and I'm like, oh, word. So it's like on the next part. That was the only thing that confused me is I was like, I didn't know if it was showing me the part that it just finished or showing me the part that it was about to start. You know what I'm saying?
Both.
Because like it would show like part whatever, whatever, and then like everything or everywhere or whatever. But I couldn't tell if it was like the part that had just happened or the part it was supposed to go into. So I don't know. But regardless, uh,
Mhm.
absolutely masterpiece of a movie, and it was such a joy to see. Like I said, some of the familiar faces, and honestly, I think Jackie Chan could have killed it, but I honestly think he was the better choice because
Right.
he was so like heartfelt and like not that's not to say Jackie isn't. Obviously Jackie is, but like you said, he is a bit older, and he's a little more spry, and his facial expressions were perfect, and also I think putting Jackie Chan in a movie like this, everybody would have known right off the hop that this man was about to do some crazy kung fu nonsense, bro. I didn't
Yeah.
know nothing about Key. I remember when we were
Mhm.
watching it, babe, the other night. We were looking at. Remember, like you look at the TV, like she was looking at the TV or zoomed into it, and then it was like the
Yeah.
security
Oh, and the
cameras.
TV in the background, it was security cameras. Like that. I like I made the weirdest facial expression. Like, what just happened?
Oh, bro, House of I wish you were there to see. It was hilarious. So we were like, she was chilling. She was like, okay, this looks interesting. And then it zoomed into the TV screen with the security cameras, and you see freaking Wayman just flying, like jumping around and flipping all over the place. And she looks at me. She's like, "Wait, what? What the f- is going on? What?" She literally started freaking out. She's like, "What in the world?" And I think that's great because me and House of Well literally did the exact same thing in the theater. We were like, "What is going on right now?"
Quite literally.
Like, who is this guy? Like, this is either somebody who's been faking it his entire life, and Evelyn just didn't know, or there's something else going on here.
Well, and
So
I
that
think
was
what even
yeah,
when
go
that
ahead.
had happened, I thought,
Yeah.
okay, well, he's like this secret agent or something, and he's just hiding, this from his wife. And then when they got into the elevator and he was just completely unaware, I was like, okay, I'm so confused. Like,
Confused.
what?
Oh, I actually loved that part because like they were just chilling in the elevator, and then next thing you know, freaking guy puts up the umbrella, freaking takes his glasses off or whatever. I can't remember exactly what happened in the scene. Then he starts talking to Evelyn, and Evelyn's so confused. And then oh my gosh, I love when they were in the janitor's closet a bit later, and he's like trying to talk to her or whatever, and she's like, and he's like, yeah, like we need you to save the multiverse, da 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 da, and she goes, busy today. What did she say again? No time, or close today, or some crap. I don't even remember, but it just killed me, man. Oh, this
I
is
just
great.
love
It's
when
like,
she's even like going back and forth with him while he, every time he
mm,
would snap back into the other version of himself,
yeah,
and she'd be
yeah,
like, "Oh," just
yeah,
either
yeah. Just
excited or like just drained, just like,
yep,
"Oh."
like oh no. Oh gosh, and yo, let's not forget the ultimate the ultimate part of the movie, Rakakuni, because let
Oh,
me tell you something.
Oh
I
god.
Bro, I was like, who is she talking about when she was explaining it to Joy and Wayman, and they're like, what are you talking about? And she's like, with the raccoon and the Rakakuni, and they're like, what? You mean Ratatouille? She's like, no, Rakakuni with that raccoon. I'm like, oh. And this because the first time I watched it, I was like, this girl's crazy. But then the second time, I'm like, wait a minute, this makes sense to her because she's seen that other universe where Buddy's freaking with the raccoon in it. So that's why she knows about that. So it makes sense to her, but to them, they're like, the frick you talking about? It's Ratatouille.
I
Uh,
honestly thought she was just fully mistaken with the whole Ratatouille thing. So when she was so stuck on the Rakakuni, I was like, are you
uh,
sure? And then it showed the clip after with him and the raccoon. I was like, oh my gosh, it actually was the raccoon.
yep.
that whole scene was a masterpiece in itself. Where
Absolute
Evelyn jumps
masterpiece.
on top of him and then gets him to start
Bruh.
running after the raccoon. I'm like,
Oh,
what?
what in the world? Oh, bro. It was actually great. And then she just yeets that man. Like they
Literally.
switch places, bro, and then she just yeets him onto the truck. Oh, oh my gosh, right? I swear, this has got to be like. I mean, you can say what you want about Marvel and this and DC and that or whatever, bro. This thing was so creative, super
Bro,
super creative, bro.
if you
Hot dog
remember,
fingers. Can we talk about that for a second?
Oh my gosh.
okay, yeah,
So
I disregarded
concerning.
that completely. I blocked it off.
Yeah, see, my mind just doesn't want to accept that.
But what's
Bro,
funny
when I
about
tell
that
y'all,
universe is that they're good with martial arts as well. It's because they use their feet instead of their hands.
yeah, exactly. So like it they made it a way for it to work, right? But just oh my gosh, when I first saw that, and then their explanation of it, how wow, voice crack, very nice. They their explanation of it where they said that basically the apes at the beginning of time or whatever of civilization, the ones with the normal hand fingers, like fingers on and hands that we know now, like died and were extinct. So the ones with the hawk dog fingers were the ones that remained, and that's why we all freaking developed into that, or evolution went in that direction. I was like, bro, what? in the world. First of all, why is that actually plausible? Second of all, no. Like, what do you mean? Uh, yeah, that was probably the weirdest part of the whole movie, in my opinion.
Well, can
But
we just talk about Jamie Lee Curtis's role too? She killed this role.
she was she
The
was girly
IRS
that
agent.
played the IRS agent, right? Killed it.
Yep.
Yeah. I was surprised to see her playing that role. I was not expecting that at all.
Really. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
hold you. I have no idea what else she's been in at all. I
Freaky
don't
Friday.
She's
know.
in Freaky Friday. I like
Freaky
grew up watching that
Friday.
movie with
I know what Freaky Friday is, but she's in that.
Yeah.
Oh
she's the
my gosh, I'm
mom.
looking at it now. Oh, that's totally
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
Yo,
She's
see, I
also
knew
in
she looked familiar, but
Halloween.
I couldn't. What's that?
She's also in Halloween, but you guys don't watch horror like that.
Oh,
No.
okay. Well, yeah, yeah, no. We are complete wusses. But that's crazy. I can totally see it now. Like I can see her in the role now that I'm like looking at it, and I'm like, wow, how did I miss it? Because I recognized her, but I couldn't place her. Like I couldn't figure out what she was from, short of like just researching it. But dang, Freaky Freaking Friday.
Yeah,
Interesting.
and I've seen a few of her movies, and it was just like the Christmas and the and or with the Cranks and You Again and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
it's just
Wow.
generally like the typical like mom role. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
this is different
Yeah,
from what I was familiar with. That's for sure.
yeah. You were like, what the frick is this that she's in? Like, hello? Wow. So it must have been like super confusing for you then, because knowing that you grew up with her in like Freaky Friday and such.
Hmm.
Wow. That's crazy. I would have never guessed. And on that note, I think we're gonna cut it off here. This is a pretty good spot, I think, to leave it off. We could talk about the movie forever because it's an amazing movie, but I think it's safe to say we covered a lot of it. So I think we'll end it off here for now. Summer, I just wanted to thank you for being on the podcast. I hope you had a good time, and hope to see you in the future.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
For sure, for sure. All right. Well, with that, without further ado, we're gonna end it off for this one. Thanks y'all for tuning in. Appreciate it. It's been your host Bloodshock with your co-host,
House of L.
and we are out. And we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Later.